All right, guys. Let me tell you something real quick before we get fucking started. This has been the most interesting and stressful process I have ever been a part of.
I am beat the fuck down.
Like, let me tell you, I need a nap after this. This has been rough, but I think this is probably hilarious given the fact that we have had 2 arguments, a moment of silence, and a rethinking of what this episode was going to feature. Because I think a mixture of talking about our subject for what was going to be this episode, and changing it now to something a little more lard-hearted.
God. Speaking of health, I guess we're having strokes.
But I think we're going to change the topic because I don't think we're emotionally ready for the topic we're going to talk about. So we're going to change it to a little more lighthearted.
It's funny, we did so well yesterday. And okay, so backstory. We first recorded this episode yesterday. And while we were up here in our little studio...
More like a broom closet.
We kept hearing his dog like bark, and we just thought it was because he was mad that we came upstairs. And he even kept talking about it on the episode about quit showing my dirty clothes.
Is this my color?
Anyway, sorry for those of you that are let me back up a little bit. This is going to be our first episode on video.
Yeah, so please join in not only on podcasts on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify, but also now on YouTube, the Punkin Patch. We'll make sure all the links are put in there, comments, good stuff. We'll share this on Instagram and Facebook. If you're not following us on any of those platforms, please just join us on any of them, as well as the punkinpatchpodcast.com own website. Damn. You can submit commissions. We also have Gmail. So if you want to get naughty and send us something private, slime in there. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I apologize in advance for y'all having to look at my ugly mug.
Or my side boobs. I'm about to put the camera a little low so you can't see. But if you are not watching, you can also, well, we'll fill you in. We're wearing our Pride and Joy Gamecocks. Yeah.
Yeah, we're matching. I mean, well, no, we're not.
No, yes, we're matching. Mind you, so yesterday I had us wearing Tammy shirts when we initially recorded, but she bitched about how she looked. But now she's saying she looks no different.
I really don't.
It makes me mad.
I still look terrible.
But she said I had a black shirt with Tammy riding a motorcycle, and she had Tammy with Reba on a black shirt. And she's like, this is not matching. But here we are wearing Carolina Gamecock shirts, and we're matching now. But I'm wearing.
I misspoke. We're not matching because it's different shirts, but it's both Carolina shirts.
Misspoke.
Anyway, God, we keep getting off on these. This is why we haven't gotten this episode done so far.
See, but this is more lighthearted because before we went for the throat on the other discussions.
Anyway, so we recorded this first yesterday. His dog was barking. Right now, for those that aren't watching, he keeps holding up my dirty laundry in the camera.
Let's do this dirty laundry. I like it though because it has these little frills. Who curtains you cut?
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so we recorded. It was a good episode. There were some funny moments. We talked about health and like emotional eating and weight loss. And I hope you choke on that water, bitch. And he kept making jokes about it on the episode. Well, finally, we hear this boom. And I was like, was that an earthquake? And he was like, did somebody just run into the house in their car? So he goes downstairs to investigate. It ended up being the fact that they're cutting trees behind his house. But when he went to investigate, he found a explosive diarrhea episode that his dog had in his crate.
We have a giant schnauzer, and this motherfucker put his ass to the back kennel and exploded everywhere. And I'm not talking like a little stream or like a little puddle. He evacuated everything inside his lower intestines.
He said, I'm a giant schnauzer. I take giant shits.
Yeah, oh, yes, ma'am. Indeed.
So we had to stop the episode. We never finished. He was like, well, you didn't like the way you looked anyway, because I had literally just woken up and he immediately put me on camera. That was the funny part of the episode, was me bitching about how terrible I looked. So we were like, well, we'll just re-record today. Well, this is now our fucking third time we're trying to record this episode because the first one went downhill quick with the argument, and then I'm just so sick of his ass. And I'm pretty sure the feeling is mutual.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what makes me mad? I just noticed that the back of your shirt has no frills. Where did you...
Party in the front, business in the rear.
Business up front, party in the back. Yeah. And if you know what that means, come see me, old Jack.
Oh. I like it.
Poetry. But to do this again, I already know how her week is, but I'm going to fill you in on her week for you. She's getting fired tomorrow.
I wish they would do it tomorrow instead of wait till next week.
She gave some old janitor a handy in the backseat of her car and got caught in the parking lot or something. I don't know. Also, if you're a snitch ass bitch, come find me or her. Right. Our addresses are posted online, and we can throw these hands because we like a good snitch.
Yeah.
And if you know, you know.
Yeah. So I have to get called into work next week to meet with my bosses. So I may be setting up a GoFundMe soon because I do have a mortgage. And also, if you're the snitch, fuck you.
May the fleas of 1,000 camels land on your crotch and your arms be too short to scratch.
Right. You gotta be a real miserable bitch to be a snitch at work.
Right. Like,
I've already said that 3 times now because this is our 3rd time recording this episode.
I think at this point we have lines memorized of how we go through this. And again, we apologize for this delay in broadcasting, but we're learning, and we also learn how much we hate each other during this process.
Don't say that, I'm going to spiral.
Don't worry, I exposed how I drink every now and again in the last previously recorded episode. Now she's like, I'm worried about you. Well, I'm not worried. I'm just worried I'm running out of alcohol soon. Please, I'm not running out anytime soon.
Oh, great. I'm going to spiral about that, too.
You can go check the liquor cabinet. It's still there.
Oh, boy. Just worried about my best friend.
I could be smoking crack. Which one do you want?
Well, it's a good way to lose weight. Let's not get back on that topic.
I like my teeth. I don't want to lose my teeth. My teeth.
We all have to make concessions.
Now, if I lost my teeth and had to get dentures, I can take them out for a good old gummy.
I'm sick.
Who's next?
You'd match the rest of this county. Anyway.
Yeah, this is right. This is not Mount Plastic.
Not privileged. Yeah.
But I think we're going to move on to a little bit lighthearted topic, just because I feel like we both need to laugh at some of the older stories we used to have. I know we touched about who we are. All right.
Something's wrong with me.
She is psychotic. But I wanted to touch on a little bit.
I'm going to touch on
you. Never. Not even with a 10-foot pole.
I'm going to touch on this doggy behind me.
Yeah, so never mind the background we have going on because we're currently in the process of moving stuff around in this room. And I have apparently robotic arms above me. So
looks like a transformer.
Right, even though there's not much transforming. She's got Maggie in the background, along with some dog ashes, I think. I don't know if you can see those on the...
Yeah, you can actually. I didn't know what that was. R.I.P.
Pieces. Just remember, Brady would start a grease fire if she was cremated. The biggest of grease fires. But anyways, before she keeps talking about touching herself, I wanted to go over some stories that we, especially like childhood stories that I think help form who we are. Because let me tell you what, I've been through some things as a kid that were hilarious. Not very funny nowadays because apparently you get CPS called on you. But yeah, I know that there's, everybody has their story. So if you have any stories you would love to share. By the way, somebody shared something on a podcast and I cannot find it. Somebody posted a comment, but I think they took it down quickly. And I would love to know what it was. So, if you want to shoot us an email, you didn't want it to be public, send something to us. And also, share your stories of your childhood that we can share on here and laugh about because I think it'd be hilarious.
They were probably like, this podcast fucking sucks. And then they're like, nah, I'll decide not to be an asshole today.
Right, because I'll jump off the second story window.
Was it someone we know?
No, I click on it and it says it can't be found.
It was probably spam.
Yeah, probably. And if you were spamming, fuck you. I got excited. I was like, somebody wants to interact with us. Also, a little mini celebration. That was a drum roll for those of you that didn't see me tap on this desk. We've had 100 people play our podcast across all 3. So I think that's a pretty decent number.
Hell yeah.
I'm pretty proud of that. And if you actually listened to the whole thing, kudos to you. And if you didn't, fuck you. Sit here and listen the whole hour. Please.
Yeah, put up with us the whole time.
Right. We're not much to put up with. We're a lot to look at, but not much to put up with.
Yeah.
We work hard for it.
We're a delight.
We're as delightful as a colonoscopy. And if you're gay, you love those.
I was just about to say some people would enjoy those more than others.
I don't know. There was There was a doctor episode that I was watching downstairs from Discovery Plus. I can't remember, but it was one where the guy was like, "Yeah, I had to get a colonoscopy," and I guess they drink the fluid, and they were in that morning. They were kind of like, I don't know, like prostate exam or something. Well, she's like, "All right, I'm gonna put my finger in. Do you feel it?" He's like, "Yeah, I feel it." Well, then apparently she just like starts maneuvering her fingers. Like, "Do you feel that?" He's like, "Yes, bitch, I feel it just fine. Can you put the camera in?" And he's like, "Does it make you feel uncomfortable?" He's like, "Who feels comfortable with a camera in their ass?" But not me.
Never had a camera. Never had anything. I mean, I'm just saying. Never had a camera.
Apparently something glows in the dark.
Anyway.
Yeah, anywho. But I think I'll start off with some of the stories that I've had growing up because I think this one is fucking hilarious. So, me and my sister growing up, we lived, in a lower income kind of. Okay, we lived in a trailer park. I can't make it sound pretty. So we grew up in like really poor areas. I mean, it's not any fault of our parents. It's just that, at the times growing up, it was difficult. And most families are about the same way. But, my parents tried to provide for us the most. I usually live with my mom and she tried her best. She worked, a lot. And I remember one year we got a trampoline as like a joint Christmas gift, joint Christmas gifts, bullshit. We got a trampoline. And, back then I used to be really, I still can, but I might bust the seams of that trampoline if I try to jump on one now.
Yeah, you would.
Bitch, you are built like a trampoline. Don't come for me. So we got a trampoline we set up in the backyard, and my mom was like, make sure there's an adult there or somebody that's old enough to, like, if something were to happen, they can call us. So my sister's hard-headed, and she always is, even to this day, and I love her to death for it.
Yeah, you're definitely not, though.
Somebody breaking into my house?
Hopefully. Come kill me!
Just her. So my sister goes out there into the backyard, and this is before they got fancy with like those safety nettings, like you see that on our neighbor's trampoline. Yeah, back then we didn't have those.
Yeah, we didn't have those.
No, because we poor, we don't get those unless they become standard now. But ours just had like a little blue plastic thing that was like that fucking paper thin, and like, what protection were you giving this? None. I think it was just for looks to make it seem like you were safe. So she's out there jumping. I'm like, I don't think we should be doing this. So being the good child that I am, I go back inside. So I'm sitting there, and, about an hour or so later, like I hear people outside talking. Well, I'm over there playing something, I don't know, probably Nintendo 64 or I don't know, something fancy. That's probably the only fancy thing we had in the house. Right. Anyways, well, my sister comes walking in and she's holding her hand over her mouth. And she has blood on her chin. It's not like a lot, but enough to cause a concern like, why are you bleeding, bitch? Well, she comes inside and my mom is sitting there. I think she was in the couch or she was
in the
kitchen.
Couch?
On the couch, in the couch, was the couch. Shut up. She was either standing in the kitchen or on the couch, but I remember my sister coming out, she's like, Mama, look what I did. And she uncovers her face. My sister had face planted on the metal bar and busted all of her teeth out on the fucking front road. And like they were just dangling. She's like, hey, Mama. And just over there.
Oh, that man's teeth hurt.
Trust me, I know. Well, and she had to rush my sister to the doctor. Thankfully, those were her baby teeth because she wasn't like super old yet. But had she had busted all them out and they were her permanent teeth, oh, you'd be looking real fine. Sis, listen to this. I love you to death. Thank God your teeth came in pretty because you would have been busted.
Well, speaking of trampolines, that just made me think of, so my best friend growing up was Lindsay. We were together every single day. Also, you think you and I argue? We were literally together every day, all day. In school, we had classes together. We would go home together after school. We would spend the night with each other all the time. So
that's why your mom thought you were lesbians. Makes sense.
Shut up. Oh God, now I'm gonna have to tell Lindsay that story if she doesn't already know it.
Yeah, Lindsay, this is nothing against you, but apparently.
Well, one time my mom came to me and was like, so I know that, that's your best friend, but if there's anything, are you sure there's nothing you need to tell me? And I was like, absolutely not, which there wasn't. But yeah, it was just, I was like, I can't believe my mom just asked me if I'm a lesbian.
She said she like that cuter, don't she?
Anyway, so.
Wait, have you ever had any kind of relations with a woman?
No.
Not even a kiss?
No. Shockingly.
For you, it is.
I mean, honestly, I'm shocked for me, too.
I mean, I've kissed women before. I mean, nothing really further than that, but you got to experiment a little bit to know what you like.
Well, this cruise we're going on, that might change. There's a bunch of couples going that are apparently into sharing.
Right, a bunch of pineapple bitches. Stay the fuck out of me. You better go visit them. I don't want no, ain't no stains on my sheets. I don't think so. Unless, never mind. Continue.
Whore.
Oh, I'm the whore, but you want a couple.
Oh boy.
I mean, if that's the way I gotta get some dick, then I guess I'm gonna have to take one for the team. And unless she wants to share and not be involved, then by all means. I'm sorry, we got way off topic. Anyway, so back to me and Lindsay fighting.
Whore.
So we would literally argue all the time because we were together so much. Well, after school, sometimes we would go sit on my trampoline and do our homework. And I will never forget this one time. It's probably one of those things where you had to be there. But we were both doing our homework, and she probably remembers the story better than me because I have a terrible memory. But one of us finished first before the other one, and we were arguing. We weren't speaking. It was silent treatment. I know you're familiar with that. With me, I mean. And
Yeah.
so
Wish there was more of it.
that could be arranged.
Oh, really?
Shake
Permanent silence.
Shake on it. Yes, well.
Yes, well.
I really think somebody.
There really is someone breaking in his house or something.
I wish I could check my Ring cameras. Unfortunately, my Ring is inside of a ring light.
But anyways, I can't remember which one of us started first. Lindsay, if you're listening to this, text me and remind me. But anyway, I think it was her. But then again, I'm a bitch, so maybe it was me. But anyways, the other one was still doing their homework. And we started jumping to try to make the other person like...
A little double bounce.
Yeah, so they couldn't like do their homework. And it was just to like piss each other off even more. And then one time... I don't know. I think we were sitting on a bed or something, or a couch or something, and we had been arguing, and I guess one of us kind of kicked the other one a little bit, and it turned into a full kick fight. Like, never had that before. Like, literally, I mean, we were just kicking the fuck out of each other for a good 5-10 minutes. Just constantly. But hey, it's a good way to work out frustration. Want a kick fight?
Yes. I will fuck you up.
Yeah,
That's what I need to do. I need to give a fucking roundhouse kick to the fucking chops.
Yeah, you've been working out your legs a lot, so maybe I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, and if my ex pointed out that I had one of my legs that have a fucking varicose vein, and I wanted to chop it off and solve the problem right then. You can't see it from the front, so don't look down. It's from the back.
I know where it is.
Oh, do you? Oh, do you? Do you? There's nothing there. How dare you?
Just kidding. I haven't noticed.
Now, that's what happens whenever you get a fucking office life and then you go to start working out again. You're like, what is that?
No, I haven't actually seen it, but he points it out to me all the time.
Yeah, because it's hideous. My fucking legs.
We're both psychotic.
No, I'm not psychotic. She's psychotic. I am manic from time to time.
No, he's delusional. He's not
I'm
really.
dementiated on.
He's not ready to accept the fact that he is also psychotic. Anyway, so what's your next story?
But speaking of trampolines, so I told you the story about...
Tramp.
You're such a whore is what it is. But I remember one time, so we were sitting there, it's me and my sister. Me and my sister have a lot of stories together. And to caveat to, my sister is only my half-sister. We have the same mother, but not the same father.
Shout out.
Yeah, go Mexicans. We have a lot of daddies, same mamas.
Me and mine have different mothers. I almost said daddies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They don't like me anymore.
She's kidding, guys. If you're watching this, she's only joking. Please do not drag her because she doesn't know how to watch what she says. But I remember one time me and my sister were jumping on the trampoline, and that's what I call it, so fuck you. I remember I had a scooter. You know the little razor scooters?
Yes.
And the ones that if you connected with your ankle, that was your ass? So I had one of them. Well, my sister had just got a new bike, and of course I was pissed because you can only go as fast as you can fucking scoot on a damn razor scooter. So I remember she was making jokes. I was a good kid when I was growing up.
Yeah, sure.
No, I was an angel. I never got beat. I was a smart ass, but I never got beat. I used to tell my stepdad all the time, I'm like, why are you yelling at me? I'm right here. You don't have to yell. Piss him off 100 times more. My mom's like, well, he's got a point. I mean, you are right there. It's always good to be right. That's probably why I am the way I am now.
Probably.
Shut up, bitch. So my sister's over there pedaling. Well, now I get pissed. I'm throwing a tantrum because, like, God bless it, I want a bike. Well, my sister's riding up and down the street because mom told her not to go where she couldn't see her. So my sister comes down like the little cul-de-sac in our trailer park, and she comes back around. What does Brandon do? Brandon grabs a fucking stick. I grab a stick, and simple physics. You know what? I may be only 6 or 7, but I know this is going to hurt. I stick that fucking stick right through the front wheel, and she goes ass over fucking heels, and I ain't never laughed so hard in my life. I giggled until my sister went inside and got mom, and she... fucking Brandon Lee! Oh shit, this is my fucking ass. She is gonna come get me.
And you deserved it.
My mom giggled a little bit, but she did beat my ass. Even though she will swear to this day, I ain't ever touched you. You were just crazy. I don't ever put my hands on you. Yeah, okay. Let's pull your pants down. I remember that one. Fucking beat my ass with a leather belt. Or any object that was suitable within range where she could projectile that shit towards me. She had knee surgery one time, and we were in a 2-story townhouse. We upgraded at some point in our life. My sister was upstairs, and my mom, she couldn't move. She had like that weird like knee brace on.
Yeah.
And she told my sister to go down to the base of the stairs so that way she could be like, you know what? Get your ass down there. I'm going to wear the fuck you out. And my mom's like, Amanda's like, I'm not coming down there till you calm down. She's like, God damn it, get your ass down there. What does my mom do? Opens the hall closet right by the stairs, and she is chucking these fucking boots. Just fucking and my sister's hiding behind the wall, and I'm hiding further past the wall where my room's at. I'm like, bitch, look at you. And then she tries to allow me out. She's like, Brandon's out here laughing. She's like, I don't give a fuck.
I wouldn't have come down either.
The hell no. And she had like Tim's flying through the hallways. I'm like, she's gonna beat somebody. Because my stepdad did plumbing work, so he had like really thick boots. Yeah. And whoa, if them things connect with you, that's your ass. I've seen violent assaults with boots, and it's dangerous.
I remember one time I was sleeping and I was taking a nap, and my mom kept trying to wake me up, and I wouldn't get up. And my dad had one of those old school, like, law enforcement police belts that was, like, thick.
I got one of those. And
it was, like, that shiny, like, whatever. Okay. Yeah. And she went and got that thing, and I was just... God, he's showing my laundry again.
This is laundry? I thought this was a tarp.
Yeah, and your shirt looked like a red parachute, so shut the fuck up. Anyway, so she went and got that belt, and she folded it and then smacked it up against the wall right over my head, above my bed. And when I tell you, I thought the fucking house was coming down. Needless to say, I got the fuck up then.
Well, that'll happen.
She also threatened one time to, I told this story at work the other night. I thought it was funny. Because you mentioned you were a smart ass when you were a kid. I know this is going to be hard to believe, but I was as well.
No.
And that was my biggest problem, was me running my mouth. I never really did anything bad that they knew of. No, I'm just kidding. But I definitely had a smart mouth. And one day we were driving home, and I guess I had been really on one that day. And I had braces at the time, and she was like...
You had braces?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was metal mouth.
Did you have the thing that like went around the back of your head and to the top?
No.
Fucking headgear ass bitch.
No. But we were driving home or I was in the passenger seat, obviously. But she was like, if you say one more smart ass thing, I'm going to hit you in the mouth so hard, your damn braces will wrap around your tonsils. And of course, I looked at her. Well, I waited a few minutes because I wasn't crazy. I wasn't completely crazy. But I waited a few minutes and I was like, Mama, I swear I'm not being a smart ass. Mm-hmm. But remember, I don't have tonsils. And she said she wanted to hit me so bad, but she also busted out laughing. Because she was like, yeah, you're right.
I would have whipped your fucking ass. I would have let you have it. Oh, you don't? Well, I'm going to beat you till they come back.
Good times. Good times, child abuse.
Hey, it made us who we are today. A bunch of dysfunctional members of society.
No, she actually didn't.
But you know what's hilarious, though? So I remember one time, my mama should have beat the brakes off my ass for this, but you know what could you do? So, not to divulge too much of my past life with my mother as a kid, but we didn't have the greatest people as friends. One one particular probably was a criminal. And, hey, I was a child, so I didn't really get to say what I did.
Like, what level of criminality? We're talking, like, murders or?
No, not quite murders, but...
Okay, well, then I'm not interested.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm
kidding.
Sorry my family didn't pick better criminal friends. But I think if ever convicted, it'd be a felony of 20 years or more. So.
Nice. Little trafficking. Anyway.
Anywho, but honestly, like, I don't know. But I just know my mom said he didn't do the greatest things in the world. So I never asked questions because I'm a kid. I'm just trying to live my best life, not going to prison for conspiracy.
Good job.
Yeah,
So far, so good.
At 8 years old, what else could you do? Learn about the lifestyle or watch TV? I'll choose TV.
Right.
Anyway, so I remember one time something happened with, like, I think they went out one night. The police got involved somehow, way, shape, or form, and I guess she felt like she was the one that was responsible for everything happening. So she agreed to meet up with him, like, to have a discussion about what happened. So she was really nervous all day, and I noticed it. I'm like, man. And at this point, like, I'm like 10 or 11, so now I'm like, I scheme. Like, this shit was, I'm like, she seems really worried. Like, how can I use this to my advantage? So she's in there getting ready, and she's like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to come back. I have my phone on. If I don't, come back by a certain time, give me a call and make sure I'm okay. I'm like, oh, I got you, Mom. So while she's getting ready, I go in the back seat of her.
I'm remembering the story. That's why I keep giggling.
I remember I was in the back seat of her Tahoe, and I waited. And describe the Tahoe, just so you knew. It was on 38-inch rims. It may or may not have had spinners. And I'm not kidding. I'm not joking. Nice. And it was like a pearl white coat. And I remember that thing to this day because anytime you would turn, those shocks and the transmission would scream. And I'm like, oh boy, this is fucking mint. Anytime you go to the flea market, you were the shit. Anyways, if you're listening to this, Mom, just know this shit was hilarious. So I'm laying in the backseat of her Tahoe, and I could see like through between the seats from the backseat to the front door because we had like a little like 2-bedroom small house, so like you can see everything from the fucking front yard.
Yeah.
Well, I see her come out of the house, and she says goodbye, assuming I'm just in my room minding my business. So she walks around the car, and I am trying my damnedest not to laugh because I'm like, I know I'm about to get this bitch. Oh, she got in the car, she buckled her seatbelt, and I sat up and said, "Surprise!" And I wish you could see the color leave her body. She was already a Caucasianist woman, so she was light-skinned. But when I tell you she went pale and she white-knuckled that steering wheel, oh, God. She reached back and she was just swatting the fuck out of there, yelling and screaming. She's like, you don't understand. This is not funny. This could be real. I'm like, well, we better pick better friends next time, Mom.
Right.
Let me tell you what, that was the funniest shit I have ever done as far as scaring my parents, because look, she thought she was going to get whacked right then in the bags. Murder, she wrote right there. That was good.
Yeah.
I
never really played any pranks. I think I was too scared of my mom. It's funny I say that. She never did anything that would make me scared. But she didn't have to. Her threats and her facial expressions were enough.
I don't know. What about the boy that threatened to beat you up or fight you? And she.
Oh, yeah.
That was a little threatening. Even I won't foot Barbara.
Yeah, so when I was in like 7th grade, there was this boy that was, I guess you would technically call him a bully, but it was more like he wasn't bullying me about things specifically. He knew who my dad was. So because he knew my dad was in law enforcement, he kept saying things like that he wanted my dad to get killed, or that he was going to kill my dad, or he was going to kill me. He would also threaten the teacher to like shoot up school and things like that. Obviously, he had some problems.
What the fuck's going on in Clarendon County? I need to fix that shit.
So the teacher, obviously, because he was threatening her too, she went to the principal and was like, hey, we need to do this. Well, the only thing the principal said was, and I know this because my mom came to the school to also meet with the principal. He was like, well, he has a really rough home life, and mostly, more than anything, he just needs a hug. And my mom was like,
I'll hug him, all right.
That's pretty much, she was like, all right, bet, I'll take care of this myself. So I didn't find out until years later. I knew he quit messing with me, but I didn't find out until years later that she waited for him after school one day. He was we used to, I don't know if everybody did this, but we would get released based on how we went home. Car riders were released, bus riders, walkers. He was a walker. He walked because he lived in an apartment complex across from the school. So she waited for him after school one day and walked with him.
Fucking waited. She planned this shit. Premeditated.
Yes. She walked with him, and I wish so badly that I had like a recording of that conversation. But the version I got from her was that she basically said, I am a crazy ass bitch, and if you think I'm lying, then just go ahead and test me and I'll show you. But I'm pretty sure that threatening a child or a minor is probably frowned upon.
Not in this case. I think in that particular case, being a shithead, hey, look, you get what you get.
But I just think it's funny. I was like, she fessed up to that years later. I just thought he got bored and moved on to somebody else. But turns out my mom was crazy as fuck. Because if nothing else, she was going to defend the hell out of me. She didn't put up with no bullshit from me, but she wasn't going to let anybody else fuck with me either.
So, you know what's funny that you said that your mom will defend you? My sister calls my mother a hell. But it's funny though, because they always say like when you have a child, what you gave your parents will come back to you tenfold. Mm-hmm. Oh, my sister's getting it now. But I tell you the story to kind of preference of how she was growing up. So she had again, we grew up lower income. I'm not talking about this a lot. It's kind of like word vomit. I can't help but mention it. But the preference, like the kind of people we would hang around with, not just because you come from a low income home, just to disclaimer this, doesn't mean you are, a bad person or whatever. But we had a tendency to apparently become friends with individuals who weren't the greatest people in the world. Crimes and such and others, criminal records. So I remember one night I had a friend over, and it's like I was in elementary school or middle school. I just started one of the two. So we were hanging out, and I remember my sister, she walked outside and never came back in. But again, my sister was a thought pocket, so there ain't no telling what she was getting into. Something. Well, she vanished for a while, and then eventually we went to bed, and I remember out of a dead sleep, I hear something yelling, and I'm like, fuck, here we go. What is this? Well, I opened the door and I'm listening because like in our trailer, it was my mom's room was on the very end, and then it was the living room, kitchen, and then you had the bathroom, one bedroom, and then the other bedroom right beside that one. I think it was a double wide or triple wide. We got some, it was luxurious. We got some space. But I remember my mom specifically saying, "You don't have my daughter." And I'm like, uh-oh, what do they mean? Well, my mom was like, you better keep her because she's a lot safer with you than she's going to be here. So what happened was my sister decided to take my stepfather's work truck and go on a joyride with her friends. The reason she got caught was apparently they had went to like some park and they were hanging out. When they went to leave, I think my sister was sitting in the back and her friend was driving. Mind you, nobody has a driver's license at this point in time. Yeah, good job, guys. Well, they were driving on the road and I think my sister fell out and she was hanging. Amanda, why didn't you let go? Why did you hold on to the truck? She's holding on to the truck and she's being drugged. Meanwhile, a North Carolina State Trooper sees this happening, pulls the car over and and proceeds to call my mother, and she's like, yeah, we got your daughter. And that's when my mom's like, yeah, you ain't got my daughter. And then the next morning, like, I didn't hear anything. I didn't even hear her breathing. And it was worrisome because I'm like, well, is she dead? Did my mom a killer? Like, do I not have a sister anymore? And well, eventually my sister told me, it's like, yeah, no, they caught us. They towed the car because we didn't have a license. So of course that caused issues with I think they towed it and they caused issues with like stepdad or whatever. Didn't lose his job or anything, but it was, she was on no ice. She was sunk to the bottom. But that shit is hilarious because she came in, she had like road rash on her side. I'm like, lose your backside or let go of the truck. Right. I was like, did you think she I think she said that she was going to pull herself back up. Baby, you weren't pulling nothing up. Even back then, you ain't no crunches, ain't pushing up nothing.
I'm so mad. She just has all kinds of injuries.
Oh. Yeah, that, she busted her teeth on the trampoline. She, I think she had surgery on something, for something. I ended up telling her. She had pins somewhere. Oh, I remember one time she got, her ankle. She fucked up her ankle doing something. She had to put pins in it. Her foot looked all kinds of fucked up. Yeah. But you know what the funniest thing was? Mm-hmm. If you ever watch my sister play basketball, that is the funniest shit you will ever see in your life. We were sitting in the stands and, my mom always put us in sports. Like I played football a little bit. I tried basketball and I'm trash. I have no coordination, hand, eyes, sideways. But she put my sister Brittney's trigger because she thinks she has a...
Yeah, ever since we started recording videos for this podcast, I feel like I'm cross-eyed. Yeah. And I've been really obsessive about it. But anyways.
Yeah, so my sister was playing basketball, and I can't remember what position she was in, but I remember when she would run, she would grip onto the bottom of her shorts and like try to keep them from going up. And my mom was like, "Leave your fucking shorts alone and run!" My sister got the ball one time and she made a basket. That was fucking...
One time?
One time. There was no other times.
Nice.
That shit was always fucking hilarious. And me and her have memories together of things we used to do. I remember... I'm going to shame myself on this because I was a fat kid. I mean, I'm a fat adult too, but I was a fat kid. So we were sitting there, and one of the skinny friends came over. Everybody had Burger King. I think I was like 6 or 7. I don't remember. I was young, but young enough to know. So she had like ate half her hamburger and put it in the bag and threw it away. I'm like, did that bitch just waste half a fucking hamburger?
Right, we don't waste food.
Right, how fucking dare she? So I go get that shit because I'm like, fuck wasting this shit. Don't look at me like that.
No, it wasn't that. I thought I felt something shake.
It's probably the house. Yeah. They're knocking trees down. So I go and get it. I eat it, throw it away. Well, then my sister, fucking fat bitch, hour later, comes looking in the trash. She's like, where'd the hamburger go? I'm like, what hamburger? She's like, the one she threw away. I'm like, did you make a mental note to come back later to check? I was like, I ate it. She threw it away, so I just grabbed it back out and ate it. I mean, it was in the bag, so why the fuck not? She's like, I was going to eat that. I'm like,
out of the trash?
My bad. Sorry I ate it first. Like, what do you want from me? But me and her, I love her to death. I don't think there's not anything I would do for her, but let me tell you what, she had something growing up. I don't know what. I remember she would, simple. I'm going to let you go, but I'm going to touch on my sister again. Not like that.
I was going to say, that was some interesting wording there.
Touch base on some stories with hers. I remember one time, so my mom worked for a security company as I think the receptionist or some office manager, I think they called it. Well, they gave her a system for free, but I think she had to pay the maintenance, but she didn't pay for any of the equipment for whatnot. Why the fuck you have an alarm system on a trailer? Why? That's like putting a fucking alarm system on a moped. Why? Well, my sister wanted to sneak out, and you see those window sensors where one's on the house and one's on the window, so the window goes up, the alarm goes off. My sister doesn't understand magnets. Brittney, is aluminum magnetic?
No.
Exactly. My sister put aluminum foil on the fucking sensor, thinking that it was... Yeah. So she rolled out the window. What happened? Meow. Alarms go off and everything. And my mom goes in there. She's like, "What the fuck you doing?" She's like, "Nothing. I just wanted to breeze." She's like, "A man in a cold. It's 85 degrees outside. There's no breeze." She's like, "I just want a window open because I just got." I'm like, my mom's like, "You must think I was born fucking last night. You think you gonna sneak out of this fucking house? I don't fucking think so." But yeah,
I never snuck out.
Really? I snuck out once. I got caught immediately because I am no criminal.
Actually, I didn't sneak out to the point where I went anywhere, but I was really into drinking. Well, when I say drinking, we were drinking Smirnoff Ice, thinking we were badass bitches.
Gay.
And those, what were they called? Zimas? Basically Smirnoff Ice and a different brand.
Zima?
No, bitch. Anyway, one night, Lindsay's boyfriend at the time had come over, because this is when Lindsay was living with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were only 17, 18, somewhere in there.
And I'm surprised you didn't have sex till later. You were smearing off ice in it and shit. Yeah.
But anyways, so he had come over and we snuck out into the yard and we're drinking, and my dad had woken up to let the dog out, and at this point it's well after midnight. And so I hear him come outside, and we hid, and we didn't get caught, or at least I don't think we got caught, but there was a strange car in the driveway, and my dad was in law enforcement, so I'm pretty sure he probably noticed. He just never said anything. But yeah, that night I got so drunk that I rolled around on the ground and had dog shit on my shirt.
Ew. So I should probably put this shirt down.
Which I didn't know until later. Oops, sorry. I just hit the mic.
fresh off the mic.
And Lindsay's boyfriend kept laughing at me and making fun of the shit on my back. I did not like him. So it just pissed me off. But also, before we started this episode, and Brandon mentioned we were going to tell funny stories from our childhood, I told him that I could tell the story about the neighbor boy who tried to hang me. So I guess I should tell that story.
The fuck? Clarendon County's. If you live in Clarendon County and you need help, 1-800 the Punkin Patch. Please dial in. We'll talk about it.
Listen, I was in danger apparently as a kid.
No shit. Somebody. What were you doing? See, look, I think there's a pattern. The constant in this equation is you.
Well, there was a boy that lived in the house behind ours, and his name was Christopher, but I called him, because I was so young, like, I don't even really remember this, but kind of. But I called him Chris Fuller, and I think it's because I couldn't say it right.
Chris Fuller or Christopher?
Chris Fuller. Anyway, so he was over one day, and we were playing in my room, and I had bunk beds at the time, and my mom noticed.
Dangerous.
My mom noticed that we got quiet, so she came. I shouldn't laugh at this because it scared the shit out of her, but I just keep picturing in her head just walking in the room and seeing this. But apparently he had taken the sheet off my bed, and tied it into basically a noose and decided to hang from it. So my mom walks in the room and I'm just hanging there like...
The fuck?
And she freaks the fuck out and immediately sends him home. Needless to say, he wasn't allowed to come over anymore, but...
So did you let him put this on you?
I guess I did. I guess I was always a little bit of a
psychopath. A psychopath is what you meant to say.
So we weren't allowed to be alone together anymore.
I figured you'd be like you over there sneaking kisses or something, but nah, he was hanging me off the bum. Jesus.
Yeah, and I wish so badly now that I have better stalking skills now, so maybe I could find it. But I would love to, I wish I could remember their last name, because I'd love to know if he turned into a serial killer.
Arrest.org.
I was also convinced that they were zombies. That whole family. Not zombies, sorry. Vampires. Because I remember one day, it's funny, we were talking about trampolines earlier. I remember one day I was on the trampoline and I saw them come home and they walked in the house and they looked super pale for some reason. Mm. And they had not been at the house for a very long time and randomly showed up. And so I ran inside and I told my mom that they were vampires. Also, did you ever watch the show or the movie Harriet the Spy?
No.
Okay, well, growing up, we need to add that to the list. I love that movie.
You can't see without his glasses.
Yeah, I made him watch My Girl. And I was boo-hooing. I don't know how you don't cry at that part.
I don't give a fuck.
He can't see without his glasses. He needs his glasses.
Fucking bumblebees.
I hate you so much. Bumblebees.
We're not the bee police, Daryl. If you don't, go watch Little Daryl if you haven't, because that's just fucking hilarious. She got stung by a bunch of bumblebees.
Poor Thomas J. Rest in peace. Anyway, but I became obsessed with the movie Harriet the Spy to the point that I wanted to become Harriet the Spy, which tracks because I still act that way now.
Yeah, I don't think you meet the physical requirements for spyhood.
I hate this. I don't mean to say this. I hate you. Anyway, so one day, didn't realize this was illegal either until I was older, but one day I decided to go be a spy in their house because...
Wait. Hold on. Before we continue the story, you were a spy in their house. Did you say you committed a burglary is what you meant to say?
Maybe.
Brittney.
Okay, well, they didn't live there at the time. It was abandoned.
Was it?
Okay, that's the thing that I was trying to get to. That house, to this day, is still abandoned. I want to find out I bet you Chris Fuller fucking killed his grandparents. Probably that was the other thing. He lived with his grandparents, not his parents. Bet you they're dead now.
Probably hung them from the bunk beds.
Right, they're probably hanging in there now.
No, there's a bunch of vampires. They moved to Forks, Washington.
But anyway, so they hadn't been there for years. The house was abandoned, and I decided to go be Harriet the Spy, so I broke in also to the house next door.
So you're committing multiple burglaries. Was that abandoned?
It was actually. And it actually, honest to God, both of them to this day are still abandoned.
Okay, so if we're going to talk about burglaries, I might as well fill you in on this one. So, again, I was a kid. I didn't think this was anything wrong because the houses were unlocked. So, you know, like when you build like these new neighborhoods, like kind of like the one I was in like a year ago. Well, this one, but back when they were still building everything and all the homes would be unlocked. So as kids, we would go in there, like it was in the neighborhood. So we would go wander around, play in the house, just, you know, go inside. Didn't know that was a crime. Because we wouldn't like break anything. We would just go in there and see what the house was like because, you know, I'm less fortunate. So I didn't have stairs or, you know, other, you know, central heating and air.
Wait, hold on. These houses weren't done being built?
No.
So that's illegal?
Yes. That's against the law. It's trespassing.
Oh, well, when I built houses, I wouldn't go walk through all the other ones.
Well, it's a little different. Like if you're a potential buyer, it may be okay. But like, you know, when they're kids and I have no fucking means to buy anything and I'm just running around. Like I remember one person ran in, I think we were like, cause you know, like they don't put the sod down until like the very end. Well, a lot of it's like red clay. Well, some people would get down on the carpet like a bunch of jackasses and get stuff done. I'm like, why would you run through the backyard? It's just because I think it was like the backyard was really big and they just went out there to play, but they would come back inside and get mud. Again, this was a long time ago. I'm not telling you the state, so you can't find me. Again.
Yeah, that was a long time ago too.
Yeah, 4 months ago, whenever she bought her house. But yeah, no, I get it. But I've never burglarized somebody to play Harriet the Spy. And every time I say Harriet, I think of Tubman. So I can only, only thing I'm imagining is Harriet Tubman just investigating shit.
Well, we also, my friend at the time, my best friend at the time, she and I snuck into her grandfather's or her grandparents' house while her grandmother wasn't there, but her grandfather was. But we were trying to be Harriet the Spy. So we snuck in the back door and snuck into the master bathroom. And then when he wasn't paying attention, we snuck under the bed. Basically, we were just sneaking all around the house trying not to get caught. And we never did. And we made it back outside without getting caught. But yeah, and we had our little notebook. We were writing down notes of things. I would love to know where that notebook is now. So I'm sure it's sitting in the trash. But yeah, I wanted to
I'm starting to see why people threaten to kill you. Or hang you from fucking puppets. Yeah, you're a spy, all right.
Good times.
What did you used to make people call you after you watched that movie, My Girl?
Veda. That was the main character's name. I made people call me Veda and I would not answer to anything else. I was legitimately, they're starting to, you can see it, there's a trend here because I was obsessed with Harriet the Spy. That, My Girl, was the first movie I was obsessed with. I would even copy her mannerisms. Like there's a scene, I've seen that movie so many times, it's ridiculous.
I think it's time to head out now.
There's a scene where she like grabs the doorknob a certain way and turns it, like not like you normally would. It was like she grabbed it from underneath and then turned. And I started doing that just to like copy her mannerisms and stuff. I was obsessed with that movie and with her.
Now she's obsessed with Twilight, 50 Shades of Grey.
I mean, I'm not obsessed with 50 Shades of Grey, but I started reading it before it was 50 Shades of Grey. I read it before it was ever published. It started off as a Twilight fanfic.
Fan what?
Fanfic. A fan fiction. Like a fan of Twilight had written it and it was posted on like an erotica website. And me and Kim found it because we like to read Twilight fanfics.
Stop saying, just say fiction.
And we found it and we read it. And back then it was called Master of the Universe. And we read it and then one day it was gone and she posted that she was getting published. So she had to take it offline. And she was like, of course I can't use like Edward and Bella because that's already a thing. So the character names will be changed, but other than that. And then it got published and it blew up and me and Kim were like, damn, we read this before it was even a thing.
You feel good about it?
I do, actually. It's kind of cool.
Fuck your books.
But yes, I was obsessed with Twilight, and when I finished them, I went into a depression.
And then the movies came out, and
I watch them all the time still.
And still depressed.
And listen, I understand that it's cheesy. I don't know what it was. The books were really good, though. I'm not going to lie. The movie, the girl that plays Bella, she drives me nuts. But I tolerate her for the movies. But Edward, he could get it. Still. I also like a little biting, so fellas, write that down.
So, all right, like to get bit. That's how she's gonna get hepatitis. Someone's gonna bite her, and she's infected.
My boobs look big today.
Do they?
Yeah.
Same. Well, my fucking god. Let me tell you what. So in the room that we're currently in filming this, it's a little toasty because this is the frog and the fan's off. And
Speaking of frogs,
don't you fucking do it.
do you know what I'm about to say?
Yes, Jeremiah.
No.
No, it wasn't.
I was gonna say whenever I was a kid, I used to call the little, you know how like kids come up with different names for body parts. So like some girls will call their thing a tutu.
Or Fifi.
Yeah, I called mine a frog.
I mean, it's built like a bullfrog.
Shut the fuck up.
Snapping Tyler. But no, it's funny though. Like you would think that people's experiences growing up were a little bit different. Mine definitely were because I've never had people hang me. Nor will I ever say that's a thing. So it's interesting.
I'm saying never.
I'm saying never. I got a glass.
You are getting on my nerves, so.
Yeah, because she has the physical ability to hang me.
I can roofie
She
you.
barely can stand up. Roofing me.
No, if I roofie you, I ain't hanging from you. I mean, I'm not hanging. Damn it. I ruined my own joke. I was going to say, I'm not hanging you. I'm going to be hanging from you. Ooh. Yeah. Anyway, so his point was it's hot in this room.
Yeah, it's a little toasty. I mean, and it's funny because like you look at this camera, I'm not sweating. I'm just shiny. I need some. Let's make.
I'm dry.
Yeah, that's fuck. Just like that coochie. But guys, this will be the.
Sorry, continue.
Well, guys, this will be the first video that we've ever recorded. Please be gentle. We're still obviously going to keep posting our podcast, and we may not initially keep posting YouTube videos every time we post a podcast, just till we get the kinks worked out, because the new equipment should be coming in this weekend. What did you say?
I said we like kinks. Sorry.
Kinks for what?
Tell me you're vanilla without telling me you're vanilla.
Oh, baby, I ain't vanilla. I'll let you ask fucking some of my references. Ain't none of them. Never mind. Ain't none of your fucking business. Anywho.
You don't know what kinks are?
I know what they are, but what was that? What did that have to do with?
Nothing. That's just
That's what I was. That's what I was confused about.
I said I like kinks.
That's 50 seconds of my life I'm never getting back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, so YouTube will be up. I'll make sure we post the link on there, as well as our Instagram. Facebook is a thing.
It is a thing.
And the Punkin Patch Podcast.com. Now we're on YouTube, ladies and gents. And
the body does the morbia.
yeah, her body is morphed like a potato. I need a haircut too. Also, please post comments, feedback, anything that you recommend. If you tell me to cut the podcast off, I'll cut off your feet and probably hang you from a bed. But no, seriously, your feedback is also important because we care to hear what you think about it, or even stuff that you want to talk about. Ask specific questions, and no, there's some things I'm not going to answer publicly, but privately, message me on the punkinpatch@gmail.com. Ain't nobody said it was dirty, so maybe some people want to get a little personal, but probably not going to answer them, to be honest.
Also, give us topic ideas.
Right, what would you like to hear? Not to say that we're short of any kind of topics, because I promise you, if you wanted to do a roast session with just me and her, I would gladly roast her for an hour.
You already do. You can sit there and blink all you want, but the evidence is in the proof's in the. That's what
I don't know.
trying to say.
I've never had people actively trying to kill me, so I think you probably are the one that probably should change. I never had to have my family members threaten somebody with their life to save mine. I've also never been just chilling my second story bunk bed. So yeah, how about you get your shit together, ma'am? But also, did we talk about in this episode?
I just remembered I did kiss a girl.
Well, good. Right in time before the podcast is over. Did you like it?
No, it just reminded me because of the bunk bed. Because
Oh, you were kissing them bunk beds.
I was actually.
Were you at the top or the bottom?
The top.
Yeah, because you can hide at the top. Ask me how I know.
Well, it was actually two separate friends of mine. We were just trying to experiment, and we didn't know how to kiss, and we would watch movies where adults were kissing. So, but we were really young. Is that normal for kids to do?
What?
Oh, so you weren't listening?
No, I heard, but like what? Like
experimenting. We would see adults
Like
kiss
old?
on the movies, so we would kiss
How
to like.
old are-
I'm trying to finish what I was saying first.
I get what you're saying. Just tell me how old.
I don't fucking know, but it was really young, like less than
Like-
10 years old.
Less than 10, but more than 5, or less than.
Yeah, more than 5. So probably between 5 and like 10.
Well, I mean, it's no different from when you see like 2 to 3 year olds that'll kiss each other. I mean,
Yeah.
it's no different.
I mean, we was like, well, they use tongue, so we might as well.
I am sick.
And I remember this one girl, and I
like
want
half
to,
a
I
woman.
want to, she was deaf.
You made out with a deaf girl? Please say yes. You made out with a deaf girl.
I did. But now I'm scared she's going to listen. Maybe we should cut that part.
You're done. You're done.
I can't believe I forgot about that.
How do you forget about that? That's like a.
Just a
Because we were
memory.
so young, and it was just like... And
How did she tell you to stop? Going straight to hell.
First of all, she could talk.
I'm not going to get into it
She
because
wasn't Helen
Mine-
Keller.
my intrusive thoughts were going to win as soon as you said she could talk, because I was going to ask you a question. But moving on. Besides, just that's it. No other. Just
No, nothing as an adult. And like I said, it was just kids being curious. Like, how does that work? I can't believe I just remembered that towards the end of the podcast.
Right.
All right, well, anyway, core memory unlocked.
Yeah. Now that you remember, she'll forget about tomorrow though. So
Probably.
that's the funny thing.
Anyways, back to wrapping this up.
Yeah.
So guys, please feel free to share on any of our multiple social media platforms now that we constantly monitor. So please reach out if there's any topics, including this one. Please tell me some of the stories that you have growing up, because we'll be glad to share them on here. Don't worry if you're worried about anonymity. We will leave you.
Anonymity.
Yeah, you struggle too, Beach. And I said it right the first
Oh,
time.
I know. I was just repeating it. It sounded like a fun one to say.
Just like philanthropy.
Yeah.
Say it.
Philanthropy.
Yeah, it's the back.
I've been practicing.
Philanthropy. How many consonants or whatever the fuck it's called in that.
Yeah.
Follow us on that. Reach out to us, make comments, questions, concerns.
Call me, beat me if you want to reach me.
Call me, beep me. You said beat me.
I said beep.
I'm listening. You said beat, like.
I said beep.
Well, enunciate your words.
Enunciate this dick.
How about you enunciate this clitoris? This fucking fat juicy pussy. Wait, what did you? Oh, so guys, yesterday she made up a new word about anatomy on her body. What did you say you have?
Nothing. God. You know, we don't have to talk about everything on here.
Yes, we do. We're pretty open on here. I mean, we talk about trauma. We could talk about our childhood stories. We could talk about your fucking
Non-existent ass.
passy. Is that
No, a passy.
what? A passy.
He said that. He says that I have no ass. Okay,
She got legs. That's all. It's fine. It's normal. No ass at all syndrome.
no ass at all. But anyways, he said that it looks like a pussy, and I said it's my passy. Such a stupid thing.
It's funny though.
I'm really mad you brought it up.
Sorry.
I'll hang you from the bunk bed later.
Better find a strong steel one.
Thanks.
I'm surprised he was able to hang your big ass.
Okay, well back then I wasn't big, okay?
Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They don't want me. But thanks again, guys, listening. We'll actually save you a little bit of time. We're going to sign out a tad bit early. We need to come up with a way to sign off.
Yeah, help us come up with something we could say every time we sign off.
Something that relate. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be Punkin Patch, but it may be something you've been listening to that you caught on. We do a lot, and it can't be and it can't be well.
Well, okay, bye.
I'm a pie hole, so
Okay, bye.
okay, bye. You're fucking disgusting.
We had to have a burp in the episode, always.
Burp on these nuts.
Okay.
I don't think so. But till next time, guys.
Okay, bye.